Hi there, Jay Tedeschi, Senior Technical Marketing Specialist with Autodesk here. Today we're going to take a look at design automation with Inventor Pro 2016. Let's start by lowest level here. Let's take a look at creating an iPart. Very quickly, we're able to create multiple configurations, in this case two configurations, of this part by simply changing the number of holes in this hole array from 2 to 3. So you'll note that we automatically get a table assigned, and we have, based on the selections that we made, we now have two different parts, an O1 and an O2, one that has 2 holes, one that has 3 holes. Let's take this a step further. We're going to do kind of the same thing here. You can see that over in the browser we already have a table created. This is already a table-driven part, so that we already have several versions. And now what we're doing is we're showing you that the scope editor allows us to make changes to the iPart, which is this, in this case, is the configurable part, that are either going to be global to all of the existing versions or to a specific version. By selecting Edit Factory Scope as I did, this feature that we are adding right now, which is a threaded hole for a thermal coupling, which is added to this at the assembly level, that feature will be present on all versions of this part that currently exist because of the edit mode that I have selected. So let's go ahead and keep editing our eye feature here. Select a distance. This is going to be the distance from center out to where the thermocouple adds or connects up to this component. Let's finish the sketch. Here we go. Now, you'll note when we evaluate both versions, we'll change from a 5-hole pattern to a 3-hole pattern, but that hole exists, that new threaded hole we just added with the eye feature, that exists in all of the versions because of how we had the configurator set. So now what we'll take a look at is creating an iAssembly. So what we're doing here is an iAssembly, a really configurable iAssembly, is made up of iParts with each with different versions. So what we're doing now is we're creating 2 versions of the assembly, and in each version of the assembly, version 1 and version 2, we select either version 1 or version 2 of each of the parts that make up this assembly. So when we change from version 1 to version 2, you'll see that we go from 2-hole and 3-hole to 5-hole and 3-hole configurations for this. Now, one of the nice things about the Content Center add-in with Inventor Pro 2016 is its awareness of the features that it's added to. First of all, you'll note that the fastener size and fastener lengths are catalog driven, so we're not able to select a component that doesn't exist in real life. Second of all, these fasteners are driven as a function of either individual members or factory. So you'll note that we want to select whether or not these fasteners are going to be driven at each level of the iAssembly. So what I did was I set the scope editor to this member here, this second version, and now we're adding the other individual fasteners required so that our bill of materials is correct for each of these versions. So now, regardless of whether we're in version 1 or version 2, our bill of materials will be not only complete, but correct. So we'll go from 5 and 3 to 3 and 2. Beautiful. Finally, let's take a look at one more level of design automation. This would be the use of iMates. iMates are useful whenever we have mating components in an assembly which are frequently assembled in similar or identical configurations. In this case, the retaining pin in the assembly, the thermocouple assembly that we just built. So using the iMates, we were able to place this with a single placement, and it's retained in that position due to the half iMate being on one part, half the iMate being on the other part. They know what combination of parameters to look for, and then it mates up and matches. And as you can see, very quickly utilizing the table-driven assembly configurations, we're able to swap out the multiple versions of assemblies over the entire array of the assembly here. Now with that, I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope this was informative, and I look forward to talking to you all again in the very near future. Bye-bye.